Welcome to the Anything Goes podcast. I'm your host, Josh Meeker.
And I'm your host, Royce Mays, and this is the Anything Goes podcast.
All right, we're back. It's been forever, but forever is over, and now we're back and we are live. And this is actually our third time trying this show, so let's hope third time is a charm.
It should be. I got faith that it is.
Yeah, I do too. I think we finally got all the kinks worked out. We'll quickly discuss some of the stuff that we did before, because a whole lot's happened since we first tried to do the show again. One thing that Royce and I discussed last time was Donald Sterling, and we also discussed some guns. We'll quickly run through Donald Sterling. Guns, that's always a hot topic. We can always talk about that. But when we get to the NBA, people are going to want to hear us talk about LeBron, and of course, San Antonio Spurs winning the championship.
Man, I'll put it like this. Like I said, LeBron came out to Cleveland, but to me, he shouldn't have never fucking left. Because, it's like, he won championships, but he had to team up with, some other heavy hitters to even win a championship. And, the NBA greats, all the NBA greats didn't have to do that. Kareem, he went to a team, but he was there before Magic. And, they drafted Magic and they drafted Worthy. And, so their team was built. Their team wasn't manufactured. And the same thing with the Spurs. They drafted Duncan. Robinson was already there. And then, Robinson retired and they got Ginobili and Parker. And, so their core, they always had that strong core, from Robinson. And then to after him retiring, then Duncan was still there. And, and so on and so on. Plus they picked up some key bench players like Patty Mills and Danny Green and, that Leonard cat, Kawhi Leonard or whatever the fuck his name, Kareem Leonard or whatever the hell his name is.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, him with the old ass braids. But yeah, and he had unknown from where is he from?
Leonard, San Diego State.
Yeah, San Diego State. I'm like, that school probably got like, 2 bathrooms in it, and couple fucking classrooms, and a damn, they don't have any sports teams, except for his, and he's probably like a, damn water boy or something, but still, like I said, he's there, and he's the MVP, so so my congrats to him. But what I'm saying about LeBron is, he should never fucking left Cleveland. Yeah, it would have took him a little longer to get a championship, but he would have had it, and he would have got it legitly. A la Jordan, and before he got there, and then when he got there, they got Pippen, they drafted Pippen and Grant, and they traded for Cartwright, and Paxson was already there, and stuff like that. So they drafted BJ and Will Perdue. I don't know why I'm mentioning Will Perdue, but but yeah. So their core was was there for about 3 or 4 years before they actually won the championship. Same thing with Spurs. So I think LeBron could have toughed it out and got a championship where he fucking belongs. But he's back, so okay, I can't really say nothing about that. He's not a traitor anymore, but still shouldn't have never fucking left. So that's that's my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I was a big LeBron fan when he was in Cleveland. I like the Cavs a little bit as well. I like seeing the Spurs beat their ass in the finals years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely. I think I agree. He would have won probably a championship in Cleveland if he would have stayed, maybe even more. But he wouldn't have went to 4 straight championships as he did in Miami with that practically a fucking all-star team that he had down there.
Exactly. But
I'm glad that he came home too. Fuck Miami. I don't like Miami anyway, so I was glad he left them, in the cold. And it's kind of cool. Nobody ever does shit for Cleveland. Cleveland needs all the help they can get, man. I mean, that city just has suffered forever. So it's good that finally something good happens to Cleveland again. Other than LeBron fell into their lap the first time because they suck so bad. They had no one pick in the draft, but this time he chose to go there. So that's pretty cool, I think, too.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, plus he already had some good guys there right now. Kyrie Irving and this new dude that they drafted. What's his name?
That guy they drafted last year sucks. His name is Anthony Bennett, but they got Kenny
Nah,
Wiggins this year.
yeah, Wiggins. That's
Yeah,
his
he's,
name.
he's, he's sweet. Yeah, Wiggins is
I ain't talking about,
sweet.
I ain't talking about Bennett, man. He's a fucking loss. I ain't talking about him. But Kyrie Irving and Wiggins and now LeBron and Varejao, but that's he's like a Will Purdue, so
Yeah, he's all right though. I mean, Verjav's all right. He was about to be an all-star like I think the year before last, but he got hurt. LeBron said he's one of his favorite teammates, so we'll see what the Cavs can do. I do think that they'll be contenders in the Eastern Conference for sure.
now Eastern Conference ain't the Eastern Conference anymore because
Get the hell out of here, man. It's still the Eastern Conference.
nah nah we're the beast of the East now. We ain't the Eastern Conference no more. We're the beast of the East because all the good players over there by us now. Gasol
Man.
coming.
The Heat made it 4 straight years, man. To me, that shows that it's a weak conference.
Who?
The Heat made it 4 straight years of the championship, so that to me shows it's a weak conference.
That's because everybody is scared to fucking guard LeBron. That's why. Everybody's out there scared of him. Just let LeBron just, go past him like win and shit like that, and this cat just fucking scores. That's why, like cats like Heinrich and Luol Deng of the Bulls, they all guarded him, guarded his ass, and gave him fits. That dude Butler, and they gave LeBron fits. So that's that's why I like those guys. They're not all stars, but they play LeBron. They're not afraid of LeBron. They played him. They got like a final steal in the last few seconds of one of the regular season games. So yeah, they're warriors to me. They're warriors. They're not scared of anything. You can guard LeBron and Jordan. You can guard anybody. So that's how I see it.
Yeah,
And
your Bulls don't back down. I give the Bulls credit, but you need a healthy Derrick Rose, man, and who knows? He may be like Penny. He may never be healthy. We'll find out this year, I think. He's supposed to be 100%, so we'll find out.
man, that cat been 100% for like 8 months and shit. So yeah, man, that cat, he's just looking around, walking around, trying to look all fucking cute and shit. Instead of getting his ass on that, on that damn court. I'm starting to fucking lose respect for him. Really though, because not just the injuries, but this dude didn't want to. He didn't want Carmelo here. He said it on the radio. He said he was like, it's not my job to bring players in. So and you got guys like Noah, trying to show him around the city and trying to show him a good time, and trying to calling him every day, and that's the same thing they did with Gasol. So that's why Gasol got here. So that's cool. We got somebody. So yeah, fuck Carmelo. I guess he wants a average career.
Yeah, he wants the money, man. Carmelo wants that money. I can't fault him. $30 million is a lot, but I always wonder, like, what's the difference, between 100 million and 130 million? Now, I know it's a lot. 30 million is a lot of money for guys like me and you to pass up, obviously. But what can 130 million buy you that 100 million can't?
Exactly. Maybe a couple extra cars or something.
Yeah, exactly. A few other mansions. He's already got enough money for 50 Carmelo Anthonys. So
Exactly. He can have 15 kids.
I think he should have went to the Bulls too. But maybe he believes Phil Jackson. Remember, Phil Jackson's in New York now, trying to run the ship. So maybe he believes in Phil.
Yeah, but Phil ain't the coach though. That's the thing. Phil's not the coach. Derek Fisher is the coach. So like I said, I think Phil gonna end up I think he's gonna end up coaching eventually. Because they're gonna suck so bad that they're gonna fire Derek Fisher, and they're not gonna have an interim coach. So I think Phil Jackson probably gonna step in. I think that's
He
his
might,
ultimate.
but his hips so messed up, man. I don't think he can go on those road trips.
Man, hip schmips. He ain't standing up. He's sitting down.
He's got to be like 7 years old. When he was coaching with the Lakers, he had that high chair. He was sitting in on the bench.
High chair. I don't remember that.
Yeah, man. There's a picture of it and stuff. I'll post it to the Anything Goes podcast Facebook page.
Huh.
And for those of you new listeners, you can follow us at facebook.com/Anything Goes podcast. This is obviously our YouTube channel, which is what you're watching the show on. Google, Anything Goes Pod is what it's called for the Google channel, for the YouTube channel, and you'll see this videos on here. But yeah, he had to sit in a high chair, man. It was kind of like a regular chair with like a big booster seat, and he sat on that in his last couple of years with LA.
Oh shit, no, I didn't know that. I never noticed. Yeah, I never noticed that at all. But but yeah, like I said, he was at his prime when he was with us. Us meaning the Bulls. Then he became a fucking traitor. Which I'm gonna say this for probably the rest of my life. He became a fucking traitor. Wanted to go to a team that was already stacked, and he did. Coaching Shaq and Penny and Rick Fox and so on and so on. And he left us, broke the fucking team up. Because if he would have stayed, and Jordan would have stayed, and Pippen would have stayed, and everybody else would have stayed, domino effect. And this cat left, and then Jordan left, and the Pippen left, and everybody else left. It became an anarchy. So it's like, what the hell, man? Yeah, I call him a traitor. I'm gonna continue to call him a traitor. Yeah, he's back home in New York now, so I can't say too much else. But still, we could have won, or we could have been heavy contenders for the next 3 years, even without Jordan. Maybe replaced him with maybe another sweet draft pick or something. But still, we didn't even got whack ass Tim Floyd after that. Man, it's the joke of all coaches, man. Fucking dipshit on the fucking man, that cat. I can coach better than that.
You can't put it all on Phil, though, man. I mean, you guys, the Bulls are a bunch of fucking drama queens. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Phil Jackson, Dennis Rodman. I don't want to come back unless he's coming back. Like, man the fuck up and go back and do your job. They're all a bunch of little girls. They all bailed. I mean, Tim Floyd, you can't fault him too much. That team he had was terrible.
That team he had was terrible, but, you could have at least, you're in the fucking NBA. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand how a team is so bad. You're in the NBA. You made it to an NBA because you got talent. So therefore, you got cats coming off the bench averaging a point per game. Go to that fucking hole and fucking score and shit. And but like I said, then you got cats like Randy Brown who just, fucks up every layup he attempts. So yeah, hey, I guess. But yeah, but enough about
I just hung up on Eric. Eric was calling me. I just hung up on him by accident. But we'll bring him on a show sooner or later, as always. He's our usual guest. But this is the first episode in forever, so we're just sticking to the main show right now. One last quick note on the basketball thing. You mentioned Luol Deng. He just signed with the Miami Heat for 2 years.
You bullshitting.
Nope, 2 years, $20 million with the Heat.
Son of a bitch. Man, fuck. This cat could have came back to us. Man, fuck that cat, man. Anyway, yeah. Luol Deng, man, fuck him, man. But
yeah, he wanted like at least $10 million a year. I told Eric that I bet the Heat will get Deng, because they have all that extra money to spend. They re-signed Chris Bosh, so I figured they would get Deng, to be honest with you. And I said that they should, even if LeBron would have stayed, they should have got Deng to come off the bench. Now he's probably going to start for him.
Yeah, he'll probably start. Yeah, of course he's going to start. They don't have Ray Allen. They still got Ray Allen?
Nah, the only guys that are under contract are Bosh, now Deng, Josh McRoberts. They signed Danny Granger and Norris Cole. That's it.
They still going to be a regular team. They're not going to suck so bad.
Yeah, now that they got Deng and Bosh comes back, Wade, he might go to the Bulls because he is from Chicago. But if he stays with the Heat, they'll at least make the playoffs.
I haven't heard anything else about that.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think people are just having fun fucking with the Heat fans, telling them Wade's going to leave too and things like that. I think he'll stay in Miami. He runs that city.
Now I did see something in like the tabloids that said the Bulls were trying to go after him.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do, man. Him at the 2 guard and Rose at the point, and then you put anybody at small forward. But then you got Gasol and Noah. Oh man, yeah, hell yeah, man. I could taste it.
Huh. Yeah, it'll be a good front line, man. Especially if you have a healthy Rose.
Yeah, even without Rose, though, if you had a team like that, we could still go pretty far. We've been making it to the playoffs without Rose anyway, so why not see if we can go further?
Yeah.
Man, if we win that'd be sweet, man. If we win the championship without Rose, man, and Rose sitting on the bench trying to look all cute and shit, I'll trade his ass.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen though, man. You can't beat a team in the Western Conference like the Spurs or the Thunder or the Rockets without Derrick Rose.
Oh no. I know that. I'm just saying, if that was to actually happen.
Yeah.
Just to like I said, just a thought. But
Well, we're
yeah, but
talking about Chicago, so we'll end the NBA portion and go with the Chicago portion slash guns. As I told you, man, 82 people were shot over the 4th of July weekend in Chicago. And I know you've already told the story once. I guess we'll have to punish you and you have to tell it again, even though it's a little bit emotional for you, of that experience you had around some of the guns in Chicago when you were in the hospital. But man, that's why I call it Chirac, man. It's just fucking out of control up there.
yeah, that day I had took Zion to the hospital anyway, well to the emergency room because he was throwing up. Okay, so as we were sitting there, um like I said, his family comes in and they they're actually receptionists, about they're congregating around the information desk. Okay, so I go up to use the restroom and I heard individual people on the phone saying, they shot her in the back, and shot my niece and stuff like that. Okay, so I go to use the restroom, I come back, I sit back down, and all of a sudden I just heard somebody just bust out crying. And my baby, and and I looked, and it was the same people that was talking about the girl being shot. Um, so then I seen somebody run out the actual hospital doors. I seen them run out, and yeah, they were so emotional that I just had to, you know, I hugged Zion so hard that I just, bust out shed a couple tears too, and because that girl was 14, over some Facebook beef. Come on now, Facebook beef over a boy on Facebook, and like I said, it's just I just don't understand when did it start. People picking up a gun so fast and want to end somebody's life. And then I heard later, I heard that the girl who pulled the trigger, her uncle gave her the gun. Come on now, you uncle, man, you're supposed to be setting the example and shit. And this cat gonna slide her a gun. So he's gonna get 10 years automatically because here in Illinois, if you provide the weapon, if you provide a murder weapon and you slide it in someone's hands, you're gonna go down as just as bad as they will. So he's gonna get 10 years automatically. I don't know about the girl, she probably 14, 15 anyway. So 13, between ages of 13 and 15. So I don't know what they're gonna do to her. But yeah, but that girl dead, man, because over something dumb on Facebook and her bitch ass uncle sliding her the gun. That just, yeah, that was kind of close to home because I was right there
Yeah.
when they announced it. Plus it was right down the street from the hospital. It was on one of the side streets. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Chicago is notorious for guns, and I seen on the news. Well, I don't watch the news up here, but I read on I heard on the radio. It was the radio, AM radio, that they're going to bring the military in here. I don't know what that's going to do, but yeah, we'll see.
I don't know that. I don't know if that's actually true. Those AM radio stations, man, a lot of times they're fucking, at least here in Ohio, some crazy far right, like Republican conservative psychos. And that might have been one of those nut jobs saying, like, they just need to bring the army in here and go through the ghettos and start shooting people. That's the type of bullshit that they're probably saying. They could bring the National Guard. I mean, but I don't, like you said, I don't really know what they're going to do. Are they going to start shooting people? They're going to get shot back. I mean, the people in Chicago, the gang bangers, that's who it really is. Let's be honest. It's not like, Joe Schmo has a gun and just goes out and shoots somebody for fun. I mean, these are people, like in gangs. And I think that's why the gun problem is so hard to solve in Chicago, because you have to break that gang culture first. You have to convince somebody that being in a gang is a waste of time, and then you have to tell them stop shooting people. Because if they're happy with their gang, they're like, this is my family, man. This is the only family I got. Your family's gonna be dead in a couple years, and so are you. And you're only 18 years old, so maybe you need to find a new family. But it's hard. It's hard to convince them of that.
exactly. But like I said, I don't know. I don't know when. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know Chicago's history. I don't know when it started getting so bad. But all these fucking police officers that we have patrolling the streets, stopping cats for like suspended license and shit, when they should be patrolling these streets and catching these cats in the act.
I agree. Part of what they're probably trying to do is hoping that by getting somebody with a suspended license, maybe they'll have a gun in their possession that they're not licensed to carry, shit like that. But yeah, they need to be. They know where the bad neighborhoods are. They need to go full force out there and not just knock some people out, but they really need to like try to change things. But I don't know, man. Like I've thought about it before, and it's gonna be tough. The best solution I have for some of the gang problems there is to bring in ex-gang members. People who used to be in a gang but left for whatever reason. Maybe they got sent to prison and they became religious, or maybe they left on their own. Maybe they had a kid and they're like, man, I don't want my kid being part of this life, so they left on their own, whatever reason. But then they made a life for themselves. I think if you can bring them back in those neighborhoods and they can talk to the teenagers, people that are like 20 years old in a gang, I don't know if you're ever going to get them out, man, unless it's in a body bag. But if you can get to the younger folks, the 13, 14, because trust me, there are 13 to 14-year-olds in Chicago right now carrying guns, loaded guns.
Like I said, yeah, it is. It is on cats, probably even younger than that, trying to be all hard and stuff. But like I said, ex-gang member, bringing him back, they probably show this cat like, a couple rocks or something. Yeah, man, you want this, man. Man, why'd you ever leave? And, this cat come back in like, yeah, man, yeah, shit like that. Bring the ex.
Win him over with some pussy and some drugs, and all of a sudden, the dude's back to his old ways again.
Exactly. Like that, what's that movie with Lawrence Fishburne? He's playing that cat that was in prison for like 30 years and stuff. And he what is it? Always Outnumbered or something?
I don't remember. You got me there, man. It's hard to stump me on movies, but you got me there. I don't remember.
I think it was an HBO movie. Came back in like came out in the 90s. So Always Outnumbered, Always Outgunned, or something like that. But yeah, he played an ex-gang member. Forgot his name, but I read the book, and yeah, and they made a movie about him. But yeah, but other than that, like I said, yeah, the police need to really crack down. Like I think the police need some help.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, I don't know how big the force is, but it's like they not maybe they're getting paid off for something behind the scenes. I don't know. But like I said, I think it's a waste of voters' time because they get these guys in office that pitch that bullshit, talking about make the streets safer, and they're not doing it. All they're doing is the streets, even the streets themselves. Streets got all these fucking potholes and people catching flats and fucking up the bottom of their cars and just like I said, actual the roads are bad here too. But like I said, I think the police need they need help them within they need help themselves, because they're not because all the police can do really, probably if they go in those neighborhoods and see something, you check your ID. They check the ID and the person happens to be clean, let them go.
Yeah, I mean, the police, they need to prioritize what they're doing, but I guess they still have to get the petty crime too, because you start letting somebody get away with petty crime, and then they might move it up to something not so petty. So they kind of have to do a little bit of both.
But come on now, suspended license versus someone getting held up in the gang robbery or something, or somebody stealing.
I agree. They got to prioritize it, but like I said, you never know that person with a suspended license. Honestly, if they really are a drug dealing gangster, they probably have a suspended license, or they don't have one at all, or they're driving a stolen car. I highly doubt that they're going to the BMV on their birthdays like the rest of us to get their shit updated.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. Nah, they're doing other things on their birthday, drinking and shit, smoking,
right.
And maybe even killing somebody. But yeah, like, and then someone who's stealing a Snickers out of a store, you know, they police get called to that, and then all of a sudden on the radio, you know, 2 shots fired on, you know, so and so street, and they got to rush over there when they could have already been over there. You
Yeah,
know,
they probably, who knows? I mean, we're just, kind of doing what we do here. We're just talking out of our ass. But you know
yeah,
what they could do is dedicate like 4 officers to handle that petty shit. Like what cops are patrolling obviously 24 hours a day. So maybe 6 officers or something. So 2 for first shift, 2 for second shift, and 2 for third shift, and they
yeah,
can handle the petty shit. So like you said, if somebody's fucking gets caught stealing a T-shirt, the officers can say, well, it's going to take us an hour to get there. We're doing this right now, and if they still want to hang around for an hour for a fucking T-shirt, because my job and stuff, I catch thieves. Back when I worked in the city of Dayton, sometimes we'd wait like an hour, 2 hours, even fucking 3 hours for them to show up to take away the shoplifter. But in Dayton they have real crime, so I never really cared. And sometimes we would just let them go because it was only like 1 or 2 things. We got other shit to do than to sit there and babysit these shoplifters for hours. That's it. That's one thing maybe the Chicago PD could do is just have a couple officers for the petty stuff and let the rest focus on the important ones.
or put the rookie cops out there.
Yeah, well, the rookies kind of got to learn the hard way too, because sooner or later it's just going to hit the fan, and you don't want them dropping their gun when they need to use it to save somebody's life. Like that movie Dark Blue and stuff.
Yes. Hey man, that movie was good, man. They don't show it enough. Kurt Russell,
Yeah.
man. I haven't heard from him, since I think since then.
He had like right around then a quick resurgence, and he was in that. Then he was in the hockey movie Miracle, and then he was like the head coach in that movie. And then he kind of fell off again.
Yeah, I mean he's a legend, no matter what. But still, like then who else I haven't heard from? Like I said, I was watching Beverly Hills Cop the other day, and I was wondering like, damn, what happened to Eddie Murphy? And then he started doing that kid shit. But I heard he's supposed to be doing another Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly
Well,
Hills
they're
Cop
making a
4.
Beverly Hills Cop show. There's going to be a show. It's going to be on CBS. I don't know if it's going to have Eddie Murphy or not.
Or not. Oh man, oh no. I don't know, man. Like about remakes, man. I think remakes are like the stupidest shit ever. Like I'm not gonna understand if the movie was bad, the original movie was bad or something. Then you do a remake and try to remake it better. But if it's already a classic, don't fuck with it. Well, of course, Star Trek is like, just, huge. So every series that came out with that ended up being a huge hit. So, you can always use different actors about that, on something like that. But I heard but I saw they tried to remake Knight Rider, and didn't have David Hasselhoff in it. Had some other cat who's supposed to have been Hasselhoff's son, Michael Knight's son and shit. And that show sucked ass.
Yeah, that show was terrible.
I watched it because it was Knight Rider. Maybe they're gonna have put the original kid back out on the road or something. But nah, hell nah.
Well, the cool thing about Beverly Hills Cop, you and I have discussed this before. I don't know if we ever have on the show, but how we've talked about like what happened to a lot of the shows featuring like black movie stars as like a lead role. I mean, this would be one right here, though. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would. Yep, yeah, it would. And yeah, because there's not too many like black shows out there really. On like cable and stuff. Tyler Perry, he got a couple TV shows out, but I'm talking about like on like that True Blood show. That's pretty good. The Mentalist, the Specialist or something. What the fuck that show name is?
Yeah.
That show.
Mentalist, yeah.
Yeah, that show pretty good too. And then all the CSIs are just phenomenal. Especially CSI Miami, that's the best. They got the best technology and stuff. I don't know why they just do. But well, yeah, but
as you mentioned, like as we mentioned when we started, this is our third time trying this thing, but it's all working smoothly now. One thing we discussed before, and you just made me think of it when you mentioned like where are they now? was Michael Jackson. I mean, we know where he is now, obviously, but we talked about him when we had tried to do this show before, the hologram Michael Jackson. And
Man,
you know, you were dead set against the hologram Michael Jackson.
I'm dead set against the period for anybody, because I mean, they're dead. They're dead. I mean, I hate to use the word like in so vain, but especially when it comes to my boy Michael Jackson, you never think that Michael Jackson was going like just, we know he wasn't gonna live forever. No one's gonna live forever, but he was just so like he was that shit, the man, period. And like, just think of his family, seeing him out there in the hologram form. That's just gonna slap them in the face. That's pretty much gonna slap any Michael Jackson fan in the face. I know it did me.
The fans, yeah, but the family, I mean, they're getting that money, so they're probably happy to get the money, man. Honestly, from what I've read, they're pretty much living off Michael Jackson's fame for years, so they're probably happy to get that money, whether it's from a hologram Michael Jackson or a living and breathing Michael Jackson. They're probably happy to get those checks in the mail. But obviously, Michael Jackson's not getting paid for it.
I think his kids are. They're not the beneficiaries of his estate, because I think his mother is. But the kids are getting a huge chunk too, because they still gotta live. So, but like I said, from the looks of it, man, I've seen a couple pictures of like his son and shit. Fucking son got a brand new 2015 Range Rover and shit. And I'm like, man, spoiled ass kids, man. And that's the thing about we'll get to that in a minute about stars and their kids. But about the Jacksons, they're the brothers, the group, they're touring. They're on a world tour right now, so they're getting their own money.
Yeah, I mean, it's about time they go on that tour. Unfortunately for you, who had a front row seat to the tour last year, you would have been so close. You'd had Tito Sweat fly on you. Lo and behold, they canceled the performance here in Dayton or at the Kettering Praise Pavilion. Screwed you out of finally seeing them after all these years of talking about a tour that I never said would happen. It finally happened, and then they just slapped you off the map and drove right by this dust of a town called Dayton.
Dust of a town. They probably tried to look for the stage. Probably couldn't find it. Or they probably
I know
didn't.
That sucked though, man. You had a hell of a seat. That was gonna be a great seat for you, a great experience, man. But they just drove on by.
Oh man, I know.
We missed the exit. The hell with it.
What's a Dayton?
Right.
There's some shithole. One day we went to this shithole called Dayton, and I scored with these two chicks.
Right. Jermaine's probably like, oh no, I might have a girl out there, with one of my babies. I'm not trying to pay any more child support. Let's just keep on driving.
Hey man, Jermaine, like I said, Jermaine better pay. He better pay his shit, man, because the judge was like, you just bought a $230,000 Ferrari, but you couldn't pay $76,000 in child support. Come on now.
Yeah, that's messed up, man. And as we mentioned, rich kids and stuff like that, kids and their stars. We're talking about the Jacksons. I mentioned today, and you already knew. There's going to be a new show about some of the Jackson family, but it's not the Jacksons. Most people know. It's somebody who has kids by both Jermaine and Randy Jackson. That was kind of odd, I thought, to hear. That was a little bit weird. Like I said, she must have been one hell of a groupie to be having sex with both the brothers, having kids by both of them and everything.
Exactly. I think she had kids by Randy first, because those kids are older. So she had kids by Randy first. She was with him first, and then she ended up getting with Jermaine, and she had 2 of his kids. So she has 5 in all. I think she had 3 of Randy's and 2 of Jermaine's. So yeah, you talk about a slut and everything, man. That's a soap opera.
She's fine though. I saw her, man. She was hot, but that's one of Jermaine's kids with the good fucking name Your Majesty, isn't it?
Yeah.
What in the hell? Your Majesty, man, that takes the cake right there.
Exactly. Yeah, it does. Your Majesty. Man? He got another one named Jafar. That's that villain off
of Aladdin.
Aladdin, yeah.
Yeah.
And he got a couple names. You know, he got a couple. And the rest of his kids got regular names. You know, Your Majesty is the youngest, so he got that fucked up name. You know, go to school, get beat up and shit. But his first child's name is Autumn. Second child's name is Jermaine Jr. Jermaine the second. He got another one named Jordan, another one named Jeremy, and then Your Majesty and the dude named Jafar or something. So he got 7. I know I probably didn't name 7, but he has 7 kids. But yeah, man, you know, she, like I said, man, fucking groupie, man, just going through, you know, the brothers and shit. You know, hell, Jackie and Tito probably hit it too.
Right, probably did.
They probably just, you know, pull it out and bust it on their face or something instead of just keeping it in.
Put her in a swivel chair and spin her around.
Hey, but that's how it was on the road though. On the road, yeah. I read one of the books from the guys that actually hung out with them. So you know, those the best biographies right there. He said after the show, they would actually point out the girls that they would want. Yeah, that's fucking A right there. They'd take her back to the room, and Jermaine would hit it. Then he'd get done. Jackie would hit it, and Tito would hit it, and then Dad would hit it. And so yeah, man, Joe was getting his pussy too on the road and shit. So that's one of the reasons why Michael didn't really like him like that, because he cheated on their moms, right. You know, 1,000 times, countless times. So, and he even has a illegitimate kid outside that marriage. She's born in '76. So yeah, go figure on that one.
Yeah, I just read something the other day. Some dude, I don't know who the hell he is. He was in some group. He toured, like, you know, back in the day with, like, you know, some of the sweet, like, 80s groups like Poison and stuff. And he was talking, I guess now he's, like, in porn, and he runs his own, like, swingers website for, like, real swingers. And he said, like, back in the day, he would be banging all these groupies. He said he, one year, had, like, 3 different mother and daughter combinations have sex with him.
Oh, man, that's fucking A right there, yeah, man.
That's crazy, man. He's like, you know, to have that happen once was great, but to have it happen 3 times in the same year, he said that was hard to come by. It was hard to top.
Man, cause most girls, man, I tried to talk to a set of sisters one day, and one sister found out. I was like, "You try to talk to my sister?" But had the mother and daughter thing, man, that's like that shit.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
You know, and you wonder, like, you know, about these groupies and stuff. Like, I've been years ago. I was working like security at this concert called the X Fest over here at the Montgomery County Fairgrounds. I don't even think they have it anymore. But I was working there, and I saw like some girl trying to get backstage, and like, you know, they had the roadies up there, you know, or whatever. You know, they're the ones that set up the equipment, and they usually like hang out near the tent. They don't let anybody in. You know, that make sure they have that backstage pass. So the girl didn't, obviously, but she wanted to get back there and probably fuck some of the band members. So the roadie was like feeling on her titties and stuff and like squeezing her ass and everything right there, right in front of, you know, like whoever was watching. And then he finally let her go back in the tent, and who knows what happened after that.
Fucking hey, man, I would love to be a rock star, man, and experience shit like that. You know, fuck the drugs, give me the pussy. You know, that'd be that shit.
And you know, we talk about this stuff, and you know, it's not to denigrate like women who do this stuff in any way, because you know, you and I mean, you know, I'm married now, but were I not, some of these like celebrity women out there, you know, like for me years ago, it was Janet Jackson. You know, were she to like throw her ass at me, I wouldn't hesitate, you know, run through that fucking tent and, you know, give her whatever she was asking for. I wouldn't hesitate a minute, you know. So I mean, yeah, I see where they're coming from, you know. So of course the difference is for us, we're not going to get pregnant or whatever, you know, so let's hope that these girls doing this shit, obviously that girl with all the fucking kids from the Jacksons was not any birth control, but let's hope these girls doing this shit usually are.
Exactly. I don't even know how to I don't even know how would I even introduce, it's my brother, slash cousin. How do you, I don't know. How do you even introduce, you know, the other person? Yeah, it's my brother slash cousin.
Right.
Shit like that.
This is my brother.
Brother, sweet. Brother.
What up, bruz? What up, bruz?
BRUZ.
Right.
Fucking A. Brother. So who is that? Your who would the mother be? Like the aunt mother? Uh author or some shit like that? I don't know. I ain't no
Yeah,
word for that.
I guess she'd be the month.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, how do you brag about something like that to your friends? Yeah, I fucked Jackie, then I fucked Jermaine, and I got kids by
They
Randy
would,
and
man. I
Jermaine.
bet they would. You remember? I don't remember the name of that. What was that movie, man? With Jay-Z and like Beanie Siegel and all those dudes. You remember that? It was like back when we worked at Blockbuster
State
together. They
property.
had a movie out.
State property.
Yeah, I think so. And like it was kind of like a documentary, if I remember right, though. I don't remember. I don't think it was a movie. It was more like a documentary. And that dude Beanie Siegel, I mean, it was on camera and everything for so anybody who saw that video saw him like sweet talk some girl and to follow him into a bathroom stall to fuck him right there
Oh,
on camera.
you talking about that? I don't know I forgot what the name of that is. I think
Yeah,
it's
but I mean, it's obviously not that hard to talk him into it. So, because I mean, that was on camera and everything for everybody to see.
yeah, because you talk to some of those, like, if you talk to some of those legends, like, I'll watch some of those shows like those documentary shows about like 80s cats, like 80s rock stars and rappers and stuff like that. And they'll tell you like, man, I had about 6 women a night. And I mean, the thing about Will Chamberlain, that's everybody knows it's a fucking myth, you know, that he slept with 20,000 women. He probably slept with them, but he didn't fuck them. He didn't fuck 20,000 women. That's more than the average porn star.
Right.
But yeah, so that's a crock of spit. But but yeah, but yeah, like Michael Jackson, if he would have been like if he would have been like more like out there, like more like what you would say not like
The documentary is called Backstage for anybody who wants
yeah
to know.
yeah that's what it's yeah I was about to say Backstage Pass, but yeah, I think I seen that too. I rented it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just Benny Siegel. I think it was a couple other cats too.
Yeah, it
That
was most of those Rockefeller guys. I mean, that was back when the labels really mattered. So it was most of those Rockefeller guys, if I remember right. Whoever else was around that label at that time.
hell NWA did it before too. Like I had a documentary with them called the dang I forgot what it was called, but it had DJ Yella from NWA. He do the pornos now with his brother and shit, and and all of them, they had pool parties, and the girls just take their shirts off and jump in the pool like asshole naked and shit like that, and yeah, man, that's that life. It's a lifestyle. But like I said, I know we got way off the subject about the rock star kids, but or the famous kids. But do you think they like? Do you think they need all that shit? Like Michael Jackson's son. Do you think he needs a fucking 2015 fucking car?
Definitely not. And honestly, like a Range Rover, I guess, is a bigger vehicle. It's probably a little safer for him than like a little sports car like Justin Bieber would be flying around in. But at the same time, you're just asking A to get robbed driving around that thing, or B, for if it's a sports car for the kid to be like going, 100 miles an hour and get themselves killed.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
no, I don't think they need anything like that, man. But who knows? I mean, what would be an acceptable car for them? Like a 2010 Range Rover? Would we care if it was that year? I don't really know.
I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure the parents buys this, the parents buys the stuff, but it's like you said, they don't need Ferraris and Porsches and stuff like that. Nah, they don't need all that. They need like I mean, I'm not saying they should buy like a fucking beater either, because they you obviously have the money. But I'm just saying, I'm talking about like far as kids, like the kids are already spoiled anyway. do you think they need that much money on them? Like, you know, like they be buying like all the fucking pairs of Jordans, and you know, do you think? Let me see what I'm trying to say. I know I asked this question before um, in the Speak Up group, but um, okay, like if you was a star, like would you splurge on your kids, or would you have them earn it, or you know, just teach them a little responsibility?
A little of both. I mean, they're never going to earn what Michael Jackson earned, so you know they're never going to be able to like live up to that type of billing. But yeah,
Yeah,
you can still make them earn in some other ways. I mean, you know, especially well in Michael Jackson's case, you know, since he's dead, it's probably a little different for him. But yeah, you're asking like me, if I had all that money, I would still make them like do. I would probably obviously be you know in some sort of business, so I would make them work for that business. They might not have any like important jobs that they could fuck up and you know like mess up somebody else's money or whatever. But I would still make them come to the office. You know, I mean, shit. Even if all they could do is answer phones, they could probably do more than that. But even if that's all they could do, you know, that's better than nothing. So yeah, I would
yeah,
make them earn a little bit too. You know, make them do something. And realize that you know life isn't a handout. Just because you know I happen to make a lot of money doesn't mean that you deserve to have all the money.
exactly, exactly. And that's what you know. That's the same thing I would do too. You know, like you know, if I was making you know 120 billion a year. Matter of fact, perfect example. The president's kids, uh, the Obamas. I mean, like, do you think?
You might want
I
to move
mean,
a little bit out of the light. The light makes your face look like an alien with the bright light on you.
yes,
All right, that's cool.
yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, okay, like, perfect example of kids that has like all that money. The president's kids. I mean, like, do you think Sasha and Malia? Do you think they um? I mean, like, do you think they should just go around and just splurge everything and buy every fucking thing in sight? Or I mean, I would hope
Funny you
some
should mention
sweeties.
them. You know, funny you should mention them because Sasha, I think, is now. I'm not some weirdo that follows them. I just happened to see this on the news. She's, I think, 16 now, or she's about to be 16, and they say they want her to get a job, a minimum wage type job, just to make sure that she realizes what it's like and not everything's going to be handed to her. Now, I don't really know how safe that is, though, for a president's daughter to be working a minimum wage job. She's probably going to have a Secret Service agent there all the time, too, to make sure nobody does anything crazy. But still, that's what they say they want her to do, so maybe they will.
That's the ultimate responsibility right there. You know, your dad making 250,000 a year, maybe even more now. It probably went up since you know we learned about the president's salary and stuff. Yeah, back in high school, probably went up some. But
Yeah, probably.
yeah, like let's just say 300,000. You know, president making 300,000, and your kid, they probably gonna get ridiculed for a little bit. You know, oh wow, Obama, you're not the president's daughter, are you? Yeah. What the hell you doing working here? You know, shit like that. You know, probably gonna ask. They gonna get that question all the time. You know, and plus, you know, they've been in the public eye before, so you know, so it's not like people don't know what they look like. So so yeah, you know, I would do the same thing. I mean, not really a minimum. You know, I wouldn't work. I wouldn't want my you know, I mean, it's whatever job she lands, but I wouldn't want her to, you know, be flipping burgers or you know, like making pizzas and shit.
Huh.
But but yeah, it's a part of that responsibility that we were saying, and I think that's pretty cool. And they, you know, that they're not just giving them money because they have it on hand, you know, shit like that. You know, you see the president's 10-year-old daughter with you know, $300,000 jewelry and shit. You know, nah, that's just absurd right there. That's absurd for any star's kid. It's
Yeah,
just
well, luckily, I think most of the presidents, I think this will be one of the few that's actually going to get a regular job because there have been teenagers in the White House before. It's been a while, you know, but there have been, like Bush, you know, our last Bush Jr., you know, G.W. He had two daughters. I think they're twins, if I remember right. Um, and they were, you know, roughly that age when they were in the White House, and I don't think they ever had a job or anything like that. And Chelsea Clinton, she was probably what, like 12, maybe 13 by the time they were out of there. She was young. She might have been about 15, 16 by the time they were out of office. And
yeah,
she never worked either.
yeah, but I think she does something though. I think she does have a nice little career on her right
Now she
now.
does, yeah, she does now. But I mean, back then when they were still, you know, president, their kids never did anything
Oh
that
yeah,
I can remember. I could be wrong, but I can't remember them ever doing anything.
I didn't know. I didn't know Bush had kids.
Yeah, he has two daughters. One of them is named like Jenna, and I think one might be named Lauren. You know, because his wife's name is Laura. I might be wrong about the names. I remember them because they like had gotten into some fucking crazy parties and shit, man. They were a bunch of crazy partier kids. So I remember they got into some crazy stuff. I think they might have even been caught driving drunk or something like that.
Damn.
Like father, like daughter.
Yeah, I'm still shocked at that. I didn't know that at all. I mean, of course, Bush Senior, he had a kid, but Bush Junior was already grown then, though. So
Yeah.
yeah, bitch ass splurge on the Texas Rangers, which it's cool, if you got the money invested. But yeah, man, like I said, overall, my whole thing about stars and their kids and stuff, you want to give your kids the best, but don't just give them $3,000 on hand, and without like just some responsibility or something. That's just.
Yeah, I mean, even us as like average like income guys, like we're not rich now, but I think I'm gonna have my like whenever I have a kid, one of these days when they're old enough, I'm gonna have them like volunteer, or go with me and volunteer, man. Let them see what it's like to work at a homeless shelter or a soup kitchen, or like a food pantry, places like that, and because I mean, it's sad, man, these days, and I don't want to make it sound like our generation wasn't spoiled either. There's plenty of people you and I both know who are fucking spoiled rotten growing up. But these days, it's like damn near every fucking kid seems to be, your son Zion is one of the few that probably is not. But even he, to a small extent, probably is, as most kids are today. But I mean, you take them to see what it's really like to be down and out. I think that really changes some perspective on things.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm pretty sure Zion has seen me struggle before and stuff like that. So I mean, I always tell him, we'll get out of this jam soon. But yeah, before, like I said, I think all rich kids should be taught like what it is to not have money, so if the money was to, if the money was to leave all of a sudden, they wouldn't just shoot themselves or something.
Yeah, you don't want them thinking that the money is who they are. They're themselves. That's why I think volunteering, for some less fortunate people would go a long way. I think to help, get that mindset instilled in them.
Yeah, right. Yep, exactly. But
Anything else you got? You want to cover, man? We hit about our hour limit here, so we'll wrap it up shortly. This is our first episode in ages. We'll get to all the. There's probably still a couple little kinks worked out, but so far, third time looks like a charm. Everything's running smooth. So, next time we'll come back too with some heavy hitting topics. And we didn't really discuss Donald Sterling this time, because LeBron was the news of the day. Just happened. We'll touch on Donald Sterling again next time, though. Anything else you want to hit before we're out of here?
Yeah, matter of fact, yeah. Speaking of LeBron, yeah, Zion's pretty tore up about it.
Yeah, it sucks for him, man. He's still young. He's got time to switch teams again. He might as well hop back to the Bulls.
Hey, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. It kind of shocked me too because I thought LeBron wasn't going anywhere. So yeah, it kind of shocked me too. But yeah, something I was going. Okay. Matter of fact, we was talking about kids again. Okay, like how would you feel if your kid just all of a sudden bought a motorcycle? How you feel about motorcycles?
I would never own a motorcycle myself. I wouldn't mind riding one once just for the experience. I mean, I've ridden one as a passenger before when I was younger, but I wouldn't mind actually driving one myself just to say that I did it. I mean, I'm not gonna drive around the corner and hopefully at least drive around the corner, drive right through somebody's front yard and into their house, hurt myself. But I would like to get the experience of riding one just once. But I would never own one because I would kill myself, man, or at least seriously hurt myself. I'd be at a stoplight, someone would be up there revving up their bike or trying to race me in their car, and I wouldn't back down. And as I said before, with a motorcycle, there's only one safety feature. That's the pavement.
Hey, that's not even safe.
Exactly. So, you got nothing. I mean, you can put a helmet on. Great. Maybe you'll live. You won't have brain damage, but both your legs are broken. Or, like that dude outside of that clubhouse where Eric was a member. Those two dudes racing down that street, a truck turned the corner, and both those dudes turned their bike so fast, one slid right under it. He lost his leg.
Yeah, I heard about that. I mean, I
Yeah,
wasn't near that damn.
the other one died. One lost his leg, and the other one died.
Now the one that died, yeah, I went to his funeral and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so and that would, I mean, I'm not saying that would definitely be me, but that probably would, that's some stupid shit that I would do if I had a motorcycle.
yeah,
It's just so
exactly.
that's why I would never own one because I just don't trust myself to ride them as responsibly as I probably should. I want to be out there hot dogging it, maybe trying to pop a wheelie, shit like that. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't. So you say if my kid brought one home, I don't think they would because they probably would already have heard me say my little spiel about motorcycles to begin with. But if they did, I mean, if they pay for their own money and everything, there's nothing I can really do about it. I would insist that they wear a helmet, though. And if I
yeah.
saw that they didn't even own a helmet, I would take the goddamn keys away from them, and they wouldn't get them back until they showed me a helmet.
Okay, okay, yeah. I feel the same way because I really don't ride mine that much, and actually I'm thinking about selling it. So I need the money right now. Uh, so yeah, I'm thinking about selling it. I've been looking online for places to buy, like motorcycles and stuff, or shit like that. But this is actually another topic that happened, in our hiatus. I see you're wearing an Ultimate Warrior shirt. I thought
Yeah.
that came back in the '80s because I used to hear like a whole bunch of rumors saying, Ultimate Warrior, yeah, his son Ultimate Warrior now, the original one died, shit like that. I used to hear that all the time. So I thought it was like 3 or 4 Ultimate Warriors, really, to be quite honest with you. So it was still just that one.
Yeah, so it's, my stepdad Mark swears that the Ultimate Warrior died too, and he's a replacement. Like it was a commonly held belief that I even looked up, while years ago myself. But that rumor was started before we had, like the internet and the availability to look shit up and really scrutinize things. So people just ran with it. The Ultimate Warrior was a little bit kind of like he didn't really get along too well with the management in wrestling, so he left. There's a guy called the Dingo Warrior, and that is the Ultimate Warrior. Like his name was Dingo Warrior, and then it became Ultimate Warrior. So that's the same guy, just two different names. Um, but then there was a guy named what the hell is his name? His name was Renegade, and this was right around the time the Ultimate Warrior left the business for a little while. Some dude named Renegade popped up. He had the face paint on, the long hair. He's not quite as buff, but pretty buff too. And he would go in there acting. He had the long hair and everything too, like that big, like fucking '80s porn star hair, like the Ultimate
Yeah,
Warrior had. And his name was Renegade. And he looked like the Ultimate Warrior. And a lot of people swore it was him because the face paint and everything always obscured the face. But it was a different guy altogether. And then the Ultimate Warrior kind of patched things up with Vince McMahon and came back to the WWF, as it's called now, the WWE, and wrestled for a few more years, and then kind of got into it again and disappeared, and just started doing his own thing. And he came back this past January for was it January for WrestleMania? Maybe it was April. And then
WrestleMania.
got inducted to the Wrestling Hall of Fame. 2 days later, died.
Damn. Dang. Like I used to hear stuff all the time. Ultimate Warrior, man. Who's better, Hulk or Ultimate Warrior? But like I said, somebody was like, that ain't even him. That's his son. Shit like that, and so
He has two daughters. He never had a son though. His daughters are young though. They're only like 10 or 12 or something.
damn, 10, 12. Damn. Well, see, that's the thing. Like I said, that lays to rest. The rumor right there. He didn't even have any sons.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, like yeah, I seen a picture of him. Like he's still looking pretty good, actually.
hmm
So
Yeah, he's got a whole bunch of YouTube videos. I subscribe to his channel. And so his death hit me kind of hard. Like for one, I looked up to him when I was a kid growing up. I know he seems crazy as hell now when you're an adult and you watch him. But when you're a kid, wrestling, especially back then, wrestling was so huge. So when he died, like a little piece of my childhood died too. And also that YouTube channel I just mentioned, that was his channel. He would come on and like you and I are talking now, he would talk about old wrestling things. He hated Hulk Hogan, so he would bash Hulk Hogan. And then he would give motivational speeches. I mean, I'm gonna post one on Facebook soon. I think somebody made this after he died, but it was like they spliced together a whole bunch of his little sayings. and he would try to motivate people and bring a positive influence to people's lives. So I had just started watching those a couple months before, and then he goes to the WWE Hall of Fame and gives his great speech, and then he's on Monday Night Raw the very next day, and I don't remember the exact quote, but it was something like he was talking and he was like, when your heart beats its final breath, or when your heart beats its final beat and you take your final breath, you want to be remembered and stuff like that. And then he died the next day. He just had a heart attack, man. So you got to wonder, did he know he was sick? And maybe that's why, wrestling, WWE and Vince McMahon was like, hey, it's now or never for this guy. Let's get him back now. And then he died a couple days later.
Damn. I mean, you never know when you're going to go. But still, for like the events leading up to somebody's death and stuff, a la MJ's, Michael Jackson's, that is, I watched that This Is It video, and it's like, this cat was on stage killing it. Like, then he died like 2 days later or the next day and shit like that. And, I got the Blu-ray now. So the Blu-ray states that, they talk to like all the band members, like, yeah, I just saw Michael just last night. And, he said, I'll see you tomorrow and, stuff like that. And, then he died.
Yeah, I saw that movie, This Is It, as well. And, I mean, he really, like, remember the Jackson family sued, like, whoever was promoting that tour, which I think they lost the lawsuit, if I remember right. Did they win or lose? Do you remember?
They lost.
Yeah, I thought so. They sued because, like, they doubled the tour. Now, Michael Jackson obviously agreed to do it. He didn't have to agree to double it. But I think he was working way too hard, man, for, like, his age and everything and all the shit that he does. Yeah. And I think that's why, he was taking those drugs. We've discussed, the ultimate ending of, not to use ultimate for any other reason, but, the untimely ending of Michael Jackson on this show before. I mean, he had to take drugs to go to sleep, and he had to take them to get himself up and pumped up and ready to go out there and, practice and perform. And it's kind of only a matter of time, I think, man, when you're doing all that stuff before your body just can't do it anymore.
Yeah, because like I said, I don't know of any 50-year-olds. I mean, that can still move like that though. Let alone tour. Well, these brothers touring and they dance.
Yeah, but his brothers aren't. I mean, like remember that Jackson special years ago, man. They're not too worried about looking slow as fuck out there on the stage. They're all like. They're going in slow motion and shit out there, man. Whereas Michael Jackson, the bar is set that high, and Michael Jackson wants to live up to that bar, which each and every performance. And I give him credit for that. I mean, unfortunately, he passed away trying to live up to our great expectations of him, which sucks. But that's what he was trying to do, I think, to live up to his own expectations instead of, well, they want to see me, I'll come out there and let them see me and walk off the stage. That's so many people do today. That's what made him different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he still wanted to, be the Michael Jackson that he was known for. He don't want to be Michael Jackson all fat and shit like Elvis.
Right.
Elvis like after he got fat. I mean, he changed his decor. He changed his wardrobe. Elvis, I'm talking about, changed his wardrobe stuff, and that's what people remember. I don't know why people remember that Elvis, with them whack ass suits and stuff.
I like that Elvis, man. I like the one out there doing the little karate with the big pork chop sideburns and stuff, man. That I don't know why people remember that one either, because most of it, well, he had about even amount of hits from both kind of Elvises. The young, like clean cut, fresh shaven Elvis, and then he had a lot like with the sideburns and the karate suits and the little, like moves. He'd be out there farting on stage and stuff.
You remember Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
Murphy was like, imitate me. He had the voice and shit.
Yeah.
The thing was though, last weekend I seen one of his movies. This cat was singing all the lines.
Yeah, he does, man. I always liked that movie, Blue Hawaii, but that was about the only Elvis movie I ever cared for. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I remember Eddie Murphy though. He's like, Elvis, we gotta win this race. We gotta win this race. And start singing and stuff.
Exactly. He did that on that movie too.
Yeah.
He did that on that movie. He had his little guitar and shit. He was on the beach singing around like fat girls and stuff. Uncle Bernie in love, shit like that, and the girls, dancing and and shit in the video, and and I'm like, man, remind me of Eddie Murphy and shit. So I start laughing. Said he couldn't act, but yeah, the other day, okay, I'll let this be the last topic. The other day on my flashbacks on Facebook, I put a picture of the videotape about it, the Master P videotape, and they got like a lot of hits and a lot of comments. And somebody said they pictured who was it? I think they pictured Master P as being like the William Shatner of rap. So they could act. They said William Shatner could act.
William Shatner, man, he gets ridiculed for the Star Trek days, but he won like what is it, an Emmy or whatever? Is that what it is for TV?
Yeah, but that was for like Rescue 911 and shit.
Yeah, it was for some other show too that like he recently was on. He didn't have a main role though. He was like a supporting actor. But he won. Yeah, but the Star Trek stuff, man, it was when he would have his little like monologue he would give. That's where shit would get all bad, man. That's where it'd be kind of comical. I even laugh about it sometimes when I'll be watching Star Trek, an old one, or the movies for that matter. I kind of chuckle a little bit.
Yeah, because they had I was watching Living Color, and like Jim Carrey was imitating him, and this cat had him on point. He was like, "Oh, here, Spawn, go get my lens," and shit like that, and
Yeah, I remember that on Living Color. Jim Carrey used to always imitate him, and he would even do it a little bit in the Ace Ventura movies.
But yeah, man, but that cat. The same thing with Adam West too. Batman. He'd be like, "This is the end, Robin." Shit like that. And Robin Burt Ward used to get mad and shit on the set. Why do you fucking talk like that? And but yeah, those two cats, man, I don't know what to say. They legends, but I don't know how. I guess the characters they played.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, with Adam West, I don't know either. William Shatner, from the Twilight Zone, he was on 2 Twilight Zone episodes, including one of the most famous ones with the "There's something on the wing, something out there,"
That was that shit. But yeah.
Yeah, so I think being around for that many years is what makes him a legend. Plus, they're both still alive. I mean, they're like 80 and shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think it was the characters they played. Batman and Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the last topic for me. So I think it's a nice comeback episode. We gotta keep this same thing going, same method going to record.
Yeah, we'll keep the format going just like it is. If people don't like it, let us know. But I know some people had wanted the video ones, so here it is, and it'll be on YouTube. It'll upload itself, and once we do this, and I'll post it on my Facebook. You can post on yours, and we'll post it from the page. So those of you listening, and especially those of you who've listened before, spread the word. We do this for our own enjoyment as well, but the more people that we can get to listen to it, the better. And also, I know Royce knows too that quite a few people have requested to sort of come on the show aside from our usual guest of Eric. Well, we have that capability now. As long as you have an Android phone or probably a Google account with your computer, even if you don't have an Android phone, we can bring you on the show easily, just like Royce and I are on right now. And it'll just show us your face just as it shows our own. So anybody in the future wants to join, not anybody, but anybody that we think can bring something to the show, we'll bring you on sometime.
Exactly. You got to have gotta have good topics and not getting your fucking feelings when we debate something.
You got to realize that anything goes when you come on this show.
Exactly. Hence the name. Anything Goes Podcast. So I'm Royce Mays.
I'm Josh Meeker.
And this is the Anything Goes Podcast.